Most people think living your best life means having everything you've ever wanted, perfect job, perfect relationships, and endless happiness. But what if I told you that's not even close to the truth? In fact, a shocking 92% of people fail at their New Year's resolutions every year, mostly because they set goals based on unrealistic expectations. If living your best life was as simple as checking off boxes, why are so many of us still struggling with stress, burnout, and dissatisfaction? The reality is, the common advice about having it all is misleading. What if I told you that perfection isn't the answer, and more stuff actually makes you less happy? In the next chapters, we'll dive deep into why chasing perfection is holding you back, how the quest for more is a trap, and why comparison to others is one of the biggest obstacles to your growth. But it doesn't stop there. We'll explore surprising strategies like why saying no can be the best thing you do for yourself and how discovering your true purpose will bring more fulfillment than simply chasing passions. Get ready to challenge everything you thought you knew about living your best life. This isn't the picture-perfect version you've seen on social media. It's a more authentic, powerful way to thrive. Ready? Let's dive in. Chapter 1. The Illusion of Perfection. Why chasing flawless is holding you back. When you think of living your best life, what comes to mind? For many people, it's the idea of achieving perfection, perfect job, perfect relationships, perfect body. But here's the truth. Perfection is an illusion, and it's actually holding you back from real success. A study from Psychology Today found that perfectionists tend to experience higher levels of anxiety, depression, and stress. The constant need to meet unrealistic expectations creates a cycle of dissatisfaction. Perfectionism leads to procrastination. People often avoid starting tasks because they fear not being perfect. According to research by Dr. Tim Pitchell, a psychology professor at Carleton University, procrastination is directly linked to perfectionism. You delay starting something because you're worried it won't be flawless. In the end, this keeps you stuck and stops you from making progress. Instead of chasing perfection, focus on progress. Take small steps each day toward your goal. This mindset shift allows you to celebrate small wins, which builds momentum. As James Clear writes in Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Building the right systems and habits will lead to growth, not perfection. Another powerful concept is the idea of embracing failure as part of the journey. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." When you take failure off the table as a fear, you free yourself to take risks and learn along the way. The most successful people aren't those who avoided mistakes, they're the ones who kept going after each one. Aiming for perfection also puts unnecessary pressure on you. Dr. Brené Brown, a researcher at the University of Houston, calls this the tyranny of never enough. This mindset makes you feel like no matter what you achieve, it's never good enough. It's exhausting. Instead, embrace imperfection as a powerful tool for growth. By letting go of the need to be flawless, you create space for creativity, flexibility, and true progress. Chapter 2. The Trap of More, Why having everything actually means having nothing. In a society that constantly pushes for more money, more followers, more success, we often forget that having more doesn't necessarily lead to happiness. In fact, studies show that beyond a certain point, accumulating more stuff and achievements can actually decrease your happiness. According to research from the University of California, once your basic needs are met, additional wealth does little to improve your overall well-being. Many people buy into the myth that having more will fill the emptiness inside. But when you constantly pursue more, you end up chasing an ever-moving target. Greg McKeown, in his book Essentialism, writes, "If you don't prioritize your life, someone else will." People end up focusing on external success and material possessions at the expense of internal peace and fulfillment. One simple strategy to escape this trap is to practice intentional living. Start by asking yourself, what do I truly need to be happy? And what's essential to my well-being? This allows you to focus on what truly matters. The minimalists, Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus, teach that when you simplify your life, you gain more time, freedom, and purpose. It's about finding joy in less, not more. Think about how much time you spend maintaining things, clothes, gadgets, subscriptions, and other possessions. Instead of accumulating more, spend that time building experiences and relationships. Harvard's Grant study, one of the longest-running studies on happiness, found that the key to happiness wasn't wealth or status but the quality of your relationships. To make this shift, focus on mindfulness. According to John Kabat-Zinn, the creator of mindfulness-based stress reduction, being present in the moment helps you appreciate what you have. When you're constantly chasing more, you miss the beauty of the present moment. Being mindful helps you slow down, make better decisions, and realize that the more you're after is often unnecessary. Living with less doesn't mean sacrificing quality. It means focusing on what brings true value to your life. Instead of accumulating more, ask yourself, how can I make the most out of what I already have? Chapter 3. Freedom from comparison. The hidden secret to unlocking your own best life. Comparison is a trap. Whether you're comparing yourself to people on social media, friends, or colleagues, it can prevent you from living your best life. Research by Dr. Tim Kasser, a psychologist at Knox College, found that those who focus on extrinsic goals, like wealth, appearance, or social status, are less satisfied and more anxious. The more you compare yourself to others, the more you get caught in this unhealthy cycle. The first step to breaking free from comparison is recognizing that everyone's journey is different. Oprah Winfrey has spoken openly about how comparing herself to others in the early stages of her career almost stopped her from pursuing her dreams. She says, "You don't become what you want. You become what you believe." The key is to focus on your personal growth and not measure your success by someone else's standards. Social media has made comparison even worse. Dr. Jean Twenge, a psychologist and author of iGen, found that the more time teenagers spend on social media, the more likely they are to experience anxiety and depression. This happens because social media creates a distorted view of reality. People only share their highlight reels, making it seem like everyone's life is perfect. But in reality, everyone struggles. To escape this comparison trap, start by focusing on your own strengths. Marcus Buckingham, in his book Strengths Finder 2.0, talks about how identifying and playing to your strengths leads to greater success and happiness. By embracing what makes you unique, you stop measuring yourself against others. Another way to break free from comparison is to practice gratitude. Studies show that practicing gratitude can increase happiness and reduce negative emotions like jealousy. By focusing on what's good in your own life, you create a mindset that encourages contentment. Dr. Robert Emmons, a leading researcher on gratitude, found that people who keep a daily gratitude journal experience greater well-being and lower stress. Finally, take action based on your own values and goals. Steve Jobs once said, "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work." Stop focusing on what others are doing, and focus on your own journey. When you do this, you unlock the freedom to live your life on your terms, not by anyone else's. When you free yourself from comparison, you create space for your true potential to emerge. You stop wasting energy trying to be someone else and instead start becoming the best version of yourself. If you're enjoying this journey so far, don't forget to hit subscribe. You won't want to miss the next chapters, where we dive into even more life-changing strategies. Chapter 4. The Power of Unfollowing. Why stepping back is the key to moving forward. In today's world, we're constantly surrounded by distractions. From social media notifications to emails and news updates, it's hard to focus on what truly matters. But what if stepping back from all the noise could help you move forward faster? The strategy of unfollowing is about decluttering not just your digital spaces, but also your mind. According to Cal Newport, author of Digital Minimalism, the constant barrage of information creates mental clutter that hampers productivity. Newport explains that when we engage with every new piece of information, we overload our brains, leaving less room for deep thinking and creativity. By unfollowing unnecessary distractions, whether that's unsubscribing from irrelevant emails or unfollowing accounts on social media, you regain control over your time and energy. Taking a break from social media, even for a short period, can drastically improve your focus. Research from the University of California found that students who used social media less often scored higher on tests that required concentration. When you stop comparing yourself to others online, you create space to focus on your own goals. It's about choosing quality over quantity. Another key benefit of unfollowing distractions is the clarity it brings. By limiting your exposure to external noise, you allow yourself to listen to your inner voice. Oprah Winfrey has often emphasized the importance of quiet time for self-reflection. In her book The Wisdom of Sundays, she says, "When you listen to your inner voice, it speaks the truth to you." Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter, where we discuss how setting boundaries can be the most powerful thing you do for your life. Chapter 5. The Art of Saying No. Why boundaries are the hidden blueprint of success. In our culture of busyness, many people believe that saying yes to every opportunity is the key to success. But in reality, saying yes too often can lead to burnout and dissatisfaction. The art of saying no is one of the most powerful tools for living your best life. When you set boundaries, you create the time and energy needed to focus on your goals. Studies show that setting boundaries is essential for mental health. Dr. Henry Cloud, author of Boundaries, explains that without clear boundaries, people end up overcommitting, which can cause stress and resentment. When you say yes to too many things, you're essentially saying no to your own needs and desires. Boundaries help you take control of your time and ultimately, your life. Saying no isn't about being selfish, it's about protecting your energy. Stephen Covey, in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, emphasizes the importance of prioritizing the things that align with your values. By saying no to tasks that don't align with your long-term vision, you free up space for what really matters. One practical strategy for saying no without feeling guilty is to practice what Covey calls the emotional bank account. Every yes you say to others is a withdrawal from your own emotional account. Saying no is like making a deposit in your own well-being. You don't have to explain yourself, simply saying, "I can't commit to this right now," is enough. Another benefit of setting boundaries is the increased self-respect it brings. When you respect your own time and energy, others are more likely to respect them too. Brené Brown, in Daring Greatly, talks about how setting boundaries is a form of self-care and self-respect. She notes, daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. Remember, saying no also helps you focus on your goals. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're potentially saying no to your own dreams. By being selective with your commitments, you create the mental space to achieve what's truly important. Chapter 6. Purpose over passion. Why chasing meaning trumps chasing hobbies. We often hear that in order to live your best life, you need to follow your passion. While passion is important, it's your sense of purpose that will ultimately lead to lasting fulfillment. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, wrote in Man's Search for Meaning that the meaning of life is to be discovered in the world rather than within man or his own psyche. This idea shifts the focus from individual feelings of passion to a greater sense of purpose tied to contributing to the world. Living with purpose gives you direction and clarity, unlike chasing fleeting passions that might not offer long-term satisfaction. Dan Pink, in his book Drive, discusses how people are motivated by 3 factors: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. The strongest of these is purpose. When you feel that your work or your efforts contribute to something bigger than yourself, you experience deeper motivation and satisfaction. A strong sense of purpose is also linked to better health. According to a study published in the Journal of Clinical Psychiatry, individuals with a higher sense of purpose have lower rates of depression, anxiety, and even physical health problems. When you feel aligned with your purpose, your mind and body respond positively. Chasing meaning doesn't mean ignoring your passions, but rather finding a way to weave your passions into something larger. Simon Sinek, author of Start With Why, encourages people to ask, "Why do you do what you do?" This question helps you connect your work and actions to a deeper sense of meaning. When you have clarity on your why, your passion naturally follows. Another key to living with purpose is service to others. Mother Teresa famously said, "It's not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving." Helping others and making a positive impact on the world can be one of the most fulfilling ways to live with purpose. Purpose isn't always about grand gestures. Sometimes, it's found in the small, everyday actions. Whether you're working in your career, nurturing relationships, or helping a neighbor, living with purpose transforms the ordinary into something extraordinary. When you focus on meaning rather than fleeting passion, you unlock a deeper, more lasting fulfillment in your life.